Hey everyone, and welcome. So, if you're thinking about heading to a university in Germany, you already know that getting a handle on the language is absolutely huge. Today, we're going to build your essential toolkit of German verbs, the ones that will literally carry you from your very first registration day all the way to graduation.
So, are you ready? Ready to not just get by, but to actually master your student life? Because let's be real, having the right vocabulary is your first giant leap towards making that happen.
Okay, let's jump right in. We're going to treat this like a story. Actually, your story. We'll follow the exact path a student takes, and we'll pick up the verbs you need at every single stage of the journey.
And every journey has to start somewhere, right? For university, that means getting yourself officially in the system and figuring out what you're actually going to study.
First things first, you've got to register. The verb for this is sich, anmelden. This is what you'll be doing on the university website, signing up for all your lectures and seminars. Ich melde mich für den Kurs an. I'm signing up for the course. Think of it as your official entry ticket.
So once you're in, what are you there for? Well, you're there to studieren. This verb is all about the big picture. It means studying a major, working towards your degree. So if someone asks, was studierst du? They want to know your field, like medicine or engineering or history.
But on a day-to-day basis, when you're actually sitting at your desk with a textbook open, you're not going to use studieren. You're going to use lernen. This is for the specific act of studying material, cramming facts, or getting ready for a test. You aren't studying medicine at 10 p.m. No, you are learning for the biology exam.
So, let's just lock this in, because it's super important. Studieren is your whole degree, your major. Lernen is the focused, get-it-done studying for a specific class or test. Nailing this difference is a massive step towards sounding like a local.
All right, so you're registered and you know your major. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty, the everyday stuff that's really going to define your life as a student.
Your daily grind is pretty much going to revolve around a handful of key activities: reading, writing, researching, practicing, and memorizing. So let's break these down.
It all kicks off with gathering information. You will lesen, that's read, your textbooks and all those articles. And when you need to find sources for a paper, you'll have to recherchieren, which means looking stuff up, whether you're in the library or digging through online databases.
Okay, so you have all this info. Now you have to do something with it. You'll schreiben, or write, tons of essays, emails, and notes. And for the really big projects like a thesis, you'll forschen. That's not just looking things up, it's conducting deep, original research to add something new to the conversation. And finally, you've got to make all this knowledge actually stick. You'll üben, which means to practice, doing exercises, solving math problems, that kind of thing. And for stuff like vocabulary or chemical formulas, you'll need to auswendig lernen, which is the perfect phrase for learning something by heart.
Now, studying isn't always a solo sport. A huge part of your university experience is going to happen right there, inside the lecture hall and the seminar room.
The classroom is a super dynamic place. The professor will teach, sure, but you're expected to participate, to discuss things, sometimes present, and hopefully understand what's going on. Let's look at the words that make it all happen.
This is a big one. In Germany, especially in smaller classes, you can't just be a wallflower. You're really expected to teilnehmen, to take part, to participate. Asking good questions and jumping into the discussion is a huge plus.
Oh yeah, you can pretty much count on this. At some point, you're almost definitely going to have to stand up in front of everyone and präsentieren, give a presentation. It's a really common way for professors to see how well you've grasped a topic.
At the end of the day, what's the whole point of all this? It's to verstehen, to truly understand the material. And hey, if you don't get something, don't ever be afraid to ask for a better explanation. Your understanding is what matters most.
Okay, the semester just flew by. You've gone to the classes, you've done all the work, and now comes the moment of truth, the final exam period. Your success here really boils down to two key actions. First, you have to wiederholen. That means review everything, go over all your notes again and again. Then, when it's time to study, you need to put that phone away and really sich concentrate, and just focus.
You did it. You took the test. You've been waiting nervously. And then that email with your grade finally arrives. You click on it. So, what's the verdict?
On that results page, you're looking for one of two words. If you see bestanden, congratulations, you passed. The verb is bestehen.
The other word you might see is durchfallen, which means you failed, from the verb durchfallen. But look, don't worry, it happens, and it's always a chance to learn even more for the next time around.
After a few years of exams, papers, and presentations, you're finally approaching the end of this whole incredible academic journey.
And this is the moment it was all for. The phrase you've been working towards this whole time is einen Abschluss machen, to graduate. This is when you finally get that diploma, throw your cap in the air, and just celebrate all of your hard work.
So there you have it, your verb toolkit for the entire university journey in Germany. You now have the language to talk about every single step of the process. The only question left is, what are you going to set out to achieve with it?